All right, on behalf of the Lackawanna City Council, I'd like to welcome everyone to the June 28th, 2021 meeting. We begin with our caucus where we review the agenda items, and then we move, once we're completed with that, to the formal organization and meeting of the City Council. Before we begin, I would ask everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we begin, there's two matters I'd like to bring before the council. One is, before we went live, there was a discussion generally of the lead time where the council members are getting from different department heads and different requests for agenda items. By the time we get the agenda items, some of them are very complicated and voluminous in nature and require some research, some conversations with department heads, etc., and should be given some thought before the actual meeting on a Monday. We're not being, as a city council, being given much lead time on many of these issues, many of these agenda items and pieces of legislation. To that end, I've requested and our city clerk has recommended that we have a meeting to discuss what possible changes could be made. One may be that the individual department heads, if they have major legislation coming forward or a major project they want addressed at a city council meeting, it's going to be incumbent upon the department head to contact the city council and explain what they're putting on the agenda so that we don't have to scramble at the last minute trying to get an appropriate opinion and focus on that issue. It just isn't practical. The second item, and Councilman Sirdike, this is in your bailiwick. This is something you've been concerned about and rightfully so, and have been diligent in asking about over the months. And I received a communication from Mayor Iafallo. I'm going to read that. June 28, 2021, dear Honorable Council President Morano, Honorable Council members, Ingram, Szymanski, Moretti, and Sirdike, I'm excited to let you know that City of Lackawanna finally has the ability to accept credit and debit card payments for various city services and charges. Residents can now pay for the following by credit and debit card at both Lackawanna City Hall and through the website at www.lackawannany.gov. They are garbage totes, parking violations, handicap parking violations, and city, school, and non-late Erie County taxes. The following services, credit and debit cards will be accepted at City Hall only: birth certificates, bulk pickup stops, code violation tickets, dog licenses, permits, and shelter rentals. Standard bank processing fees will apply to these credit and debit card payments, which are charged by the issuing bank, not the City of Lackawanna. More information about credit and debit card payments and fees will be posted to the homepage of the city website. My sincere thanks to all those in City Hall who worked hard to finally make this payment capability available, and City Council members for their support. It's been a long time coming. Sincerely, Annette Iafallo, Mayor Lackawanna, City of Lackawanna. I'd like to extend our thanks as a City Council to the Mayor, to Carolyn Nicometto for working so diligently on that, and for the department heads for their cooperation, and of course to Councilman Sirdike for his diligence in pursuing this and keeping this within the focus of the City Council. Anyone wish to comment?
Well, regarding the first item, there are some stuff that you mentioned regarding timeliness versus action. I don't think we can go into executive session here on Zoom. I'm going to be requesting some items be tabled until our next meeting because there are some items I need to discuss in executive session because it's personnel, and I don't believe we have that capability here to handle that. But there is some very heavy stuff that's on this agenda that we need to have a very serious discussion with. As for the agenda and the timeliness, versus action items. The charter was written in 1964, and a lot of things have changed. And so, yeah, we could definitely make some significant, in my belief, have some significant input as to how agenda items are placed and the timeliness for us to receive our packets. And as for the paying online, that's great news.
Yeah, and, thank you, Councilman Szymanski. Anyone else? If not, we're going to move on. There will be no approval of minutes. We haven't received the updated minutes from the last council meeting of June 7th as of this date. That'll be on the next agenda. Department reports as a matter of administration. We'll deal with that. Communications from council member Szymanski. You have two matters. You wish to go into those at this time?
Well, one of them is a standard. A friend of mine asked me to marry them. Something you as mayor, you automatically become a marriage officer. As council member, you have to be voted in. So they asked me to do it, so I said yes. The other item is just a matter of standard controller paperwork, hours and stuff done. So that's really basics, and that's it.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Szymanski.
Thank
Anyone have any questions for Councilman Szymanski on those items 4 and 5? If not, item 6.
I do have a question for Councilmember Szymanski. Your record of activity should have been submitted to me. I sent you a letter back in February, and then the email that came in March. That paperwork comes to me, and then I fill out a form, the RS 2417, and then that gets approved by council.
Okay,
So
we just might want to refer item number 5 to the city controller.
what will be the next step after that then, Carolyn?
Well, once you submit your hours to me, I fill out that form, and then that form gets approved by council.
Very good. Okay.
It gets posted on the website for 30 days, and then Jeff Deeps will sign off on it.
Okay. So we'll receive, file, and forward it to
Controller.
the controller's office.
Yes.
Fine.
Very good. Item number 6 was from our city attorney, Richard Judah, regarding the approval of attached ordinance amending Chapter 119 fire prevention. This was a matter we took up at another council meeting, was referred to Mr. Judah for clarification regarding open fires and who should be determined to be an authorized inspector for the city. Anyone have any questions on that? Or Mr. Judah, do you have any comments?
I believe this came up at the last meeting, and there were 2 proposed changes, and the one really wasn't necessary, but the other one I think gives some authority to our fire marshal to do inspections.
Yes, thank you. Anyone else?
I still don't understand why this is on the, I golf with the fire chief all day today. He was my partner in golfing, and he just said that some people who call regarding open fire and open burning don't understand that gas and propane fireplaces are legal, but they're still legal. So I don't know why we're making, oh, this is back here. He didn't ask for it to come back, but as for the other one, that definitely sounds like it's very important because they should have certain powers that right now aren't granted to them. That is the fire inspector.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else?
So if I can, Mr. Council President, just on number 6A regarding what Councilman Szymanski just said. At the last meeting, it was recommended it be referred to the law department to draw up an ordinance. So with that, we all, I think, agreed that the council theoretically didn't have to make any changes to the original section because if it was actually worded properly. However, this appears to have clarified the language. So my question is, do we still want to go ahead and enact this ordinance change to clear the language up, or do we just not want to act on it and leave the language as it is?
Well, I think the recommendation of the city attorney is that we approve this clarified language.
Okay.
Correct.
Right, anyone else? All right, item number 7, request from the city attorney that council approve and authorize the mayor to sign a grant agreement between City of Lackawanna, United States Soccer Federation Foundation, INC. I believe this was a matter referred to the law department. Mr. Judah, any augmentation on that? Or Director Laxo?
I think we're just cleaning up what we've already agreed to, basically.
All right, any questions? Item number 8, request from the city attorney, approve an ordinance amending chapter 230 zoning city of the Lackawanna Municipal Code for those properties within the base flood elevation zone for a minimum elevation of at least 3 feet above the highest adjacent grade for any construction. Mr. Juden, anything you want to add on that?
These are changes that were required by the DEC and the and FEMA. And apparently we missed them in the last amendment that we did to our flood ordinance. So upon review of our most recent ordinance, they asked that we add this additional language as required by law now.
Any questions? Moving to item number 9, city attorney requests the mayor and city council reestablish, pursuant to the request of the mayor, that the city council reestablish assistant controller's position, which was eliminated by the city council several years ago. Starting salary $62,500. There was an attached job description. Anyone have any comments on that?
Yeah, this is one of the items I'd like to have tabled until we have a conversation in executive session. That's my comment.
Okay, I'm not sure of a need for an executive session on this, since it's just either an up or down vote on whether to reestablish the assistant controller. It's not a discussion of an individual per se. I would ask Mr. Judah, you have an opinion on that?
Well, it is creating the position. Obviously, if the mayor appoints someone, it would be have to be off a preferred eligibility list after a test, except for it would be a provisional appointment.
Well, it doesn't have to be an executive session though, for
No.
this discussion.
No.
Okay, anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Council President Kevin Sirdike.
Yes, Councilman Sirdike.
Well, there are things that I'm going to say that I would say in executive session, but as you said, I'm not mentioning any names or anything. My question is, we just passed the budget last month. Why wasn't this in the budget last month? Where's this money coming from?
I don't know if anyone here has an answer to that.
It says
You
the
might
city
wanna-
controller on
Carolyn?
behalf of the mayor and city controller. So why wasn't this proposed in the last budget
Carolyn, is there any answer
So-
for
a
that?
month ago?
So right now, it's my understanding that the controller's office consists of the controller and 2 administrative staff. One of the administrative staff is actually performing assistant controller functions. So the controller's office will still, and Carolyn can explain a little further, but the controller's office will still have 2 staff members, but one of those will be titled as an assistant controller. Is that correct, Carolyn?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, doesn't it violate union rights? And that's why we wanted to discuss this in executive session. If you're removing a union position, the union will not authorize that without a vote. But here we are talking personnel during a meeting.
Well, you're not talking personnel
not
during a
talking
meeting. You're
personnel.
talking a position, okay? And actually, this is the exact purpose of open meetings laws, to discuss these in the public without discussing any individual people. This is a non-union, assistant controller would be a non-union position.
Are we removing a union position?
So you don't have to get the union's approval for that. There's been a request by a person up there to move to a different administrative or a different position within the union, which will create an opening up in that department.
And
We
Rick, let me
feel,
ask-
so this is probably the ideal time to do it, other than if somebody were to be retiring.
Rick, let me ask you this, is by creating this position, is there a union position being eliminated?
No.
Okay.
No. What happened was, we had an opening in the recreation, an account clerk typist retired from the recreation department. And I believe what we were going to create was a clerk position that would serve both as recreation and do other functions. And then the person that's in Carolyn's office would like to take that job, and then that would create the opening in Carolyn's office for either another account clerk typist, or in lieu of that, we would hire an assistant controller. So the salary would be a little higher than an account clerk typist, but it's not going to break the budget, I guess is the answer.
And let's go back to Councilman Sirdike's question. The budget was passed recently. Why wasn't this issue addressed at that time?
Well, because the opening wasn't in recreation. The individual that was in up in that department hadn't made a request to move down there. So, this is all something that just kind of happened in the last 30 days.
Councilman Sirdike, any follow-up on that?
So people can request to work wherever they want? Doesn't management tell them where to work?
Well, the account clerk typists, they can bid on jobs in other departments if there's openings.
So this employee bid on another job?
No, this employee asked to find out if there was an opening down in recreation.
So were other people advised of the opening? Were they allowed to bid on this job?
It was posted by the union, from what I understand.
When was that opening open in recreation?
When did Leslie Palczewski retire?
January.
It's been open since January, but they just posted for that position recently. They actually posted for, I believe, an account clerk typist, not a principal clerk type, a principal clerk, and not an account clerk typist.
So that answers my question. Why wasn't it in the last budget 4 weeks ago?
I don't know. You have to discuss it with the mayor or the controller. Carolyn, do you have any more input on that?
There is the position in the recreation department already was budgeted for. She's just moving from my office down there. As far as the assistant comptroller, we need somebody to cover my duties in my office. And the principal account clerk typist her job description didn't cover all those duties. So if I go away on vacation or I get sick, there is nobody to cover all my duties. So there was a gap.
And Carolyn, I would assume also that there are items of a confidential nature that only you would have access to. And in this instance, that would allow the assistant controller also to have access in your absence. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's a backup for her, backup for the city.
That's what it looks like.
So how many people will be working in a controller's office? 3 or 4?
3.
All right, anything else? All right. Our request item number 10 from the city controller to review and approve attached standard workday resolution form RS 2418 as required by New York State law retirement system. Carolyn, anything on that?
The Office of the State Comptroller wanted us to update our standard workdays for individuals. We've had title changes. We've had additional employees such as Gene Oliveri, so his position is new. And it was recommended that we just take a look at all our positions and review them and issue the new standard workday.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have a few challenges on some of the people or some of the titles and their work hours. And that's why I'd like to discuss this later.
So the state does have a minimum and a maximum. So for example, say John Wolf, I know John, you're not in the retirement system, but let's pretend there is, you have a part-time job. The state says a minimum of 6 hours to a maximum of 8. Because it's a part-time job, his job would be 6 hours. Playground watchers, they would be 6 hours, even I off the top of my head, sometimes they work 4 to 6, Brian. So anybody that's part-time gets a minimum, gets 6 hours, and anybody full-time, depending on the job position, would get 8 or 7.5.
And
Well-
Carolyn, does filing this modify or change any of the existing requirements of the state?
This one is basically copying over the old one and just adding the new position. I'm not sure if I just answered your question, so I'm sorry.
You did, thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else?
So the youth bureau director, 6 hours a day.
Mhm. Even though it's part-time, that's the minimum offered by the state.
Okay.
It's up on the state website if you'd like to take a look, or I could print it off for you.
No, I get it. I know that when I filled out my hours when I was mayor, as required by the state retirement system, they had an issue regarding 7.5 work hours versus 8. And I tried to explain it to them, and they pretty much just kind of said it's supposed to be the other one. So for the sake of the good mayor, you might want to see what the hours are.
So I did work with the state auditor on this.
Yeah. And they were okay with it?
Mhm.
Well, then Mr. DiNapoli owes me an apology. So
I'm sorry.
I said that Mr. DiNapoli owes me an apology. He was questioning a half hour difference between work days.
Well, the standard workday for anybody except for police, fire, and I think DPW, anybody in the main office, other than like the ones I just mentioned, are 7.5 hours because that's the standard day.
Right.
Okay, anyone else? All right, thank you. Item number 11, City Comptroller requests council approve attached ordinance to increase salary for the Civil Service Commission Secretary, I believe by $1,800. Carolyn, anything on that?
We've been Annette's been trying to get people where they need to be. They're investing a ton of hours and they need to be paid appropriately.
Thank you. Anyone have any question on that?
Yes, Mr. Council President.
Yes, sir.
So why wasn't this in the budget last month?
I can answer that, Kevin. The request came through civil service and it just came to us recently. So the mayor agreed to, after hearing what civil service had to say, she agreed to put it on the agenda.
Anyone
Okay.
else? Item number 12, from the City Controller, review Department Administration, Finance Office of Clerk Administration, Director Development, etc. Requesting transfers to the 2021 accounts. Carolyn, anything you need to add on that?
This is the mill and pave of Ridge Road in conjunction with the DRI project to clean up Ridge Road.
That's item number 13, I think. Item number 12.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, the transfer. I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. So in May, with the mayor's approval, department heads can make budget transfers within their departments. So if you notice on the the revenue and expenditure reports that I give you, a lot of accounts either end in a 1, it'll be 0.1, 0.2, and 0.4. You can move after May 1st, we can move money within our departments among those lines. I can't move money from a 0.4 to a 0.1 without council approval. But per the city charter, we can move it around to fill budget shortfalls.
And is that standard operating procedure?
Yes.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions on that? Moving to item 13, City Controller requests City Council approve the ordinance transfer funds to Mill Ridge Road and overlay paving project 2021, the amount of $800,000. I'm going to call on our Commissioner of the Public Works, Mr. DeSantis. Would you give us an idea of what all of this means?
So this project is Ridge Road, starting from South Park, heading west to the on and off ramps to Route 5. It's a mill and fill, which means it'll be milled down 3 inches and brought back with 2-inch binder and 1-inch top, and then striped accordingly. That accordingly is which everybody's in agreement with, but they saw the drawings from CPL. It'll be a single lane for the whole road. There'll be some dedicated bike lanes on certain parts of the street where there are no parking allowed, and the rest of the road will be a shared bike road. There'll be turning lanes in the beginning by when we get off of the Skyway, because there is no parking on that street. Parking will go back to where it was before this bike path that's there right now. We had to eliminate parking on the north side, but all that parking will be restored. And that's about it. I mean, it's going to look a lot better. And I just want everybody out there that's listening that said that, nothing happening here. We've been on this since January. So it takes some time for these big projects to get done, but we're at a stage now where the council approves this tonight, we'll be able to hire a contractor and hopefully break ground by the end of July, soon as county sewer authority is done with their work.
And Tony, 2 questions. One, this will result in the elimination of the current bike path as it exists. Is that correct?
That is correct. It'll be a traditional bike lane on certain parts of the road where there were no parking and it's wide enough to have that. And that I believe only goes to, I don't have the schematics in front of me because I had to use my cell phone for this meeting, but just where it's warranted on the street, and the rest of the road will be a shared road, and there'll be parking sides of the street, and the street will be striped accordingly.
So the center line will be restored to its original position. Is that correct?
Correct. There'll be a center line, except for in the beginning, there'll be a turn lane in the beginning, right? Yeah. Until I believe it's Holland or Simon. Like I said, I'm sorry that I don't have the schematics in front of me right now, but the beginning will be a middle turn lane, and then that yellow line will be restored to the middle, the rest of the way to South Park.
Okay, I think that's going to be a welcome change back. The second question is, was Ridge Road slated for a remilling regardless of the bike path?
Yes, it was. That's why we were all in agreement to try this new bike path out, because Ridge Road, as you can see, it's bad in all different spots. And we knew that the water authority, sewer authority had to do their work on it. So this paving project was going to come up anyways. It's just probably 6 months ahead of schedule. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions of the commissioner? Councilman Sirdike?
Yes, Mr. Council President.
Yes, sir.
Tony, I know we had the meeting Wednesday and myself and Councilman Ingram were there and everything went great. I think maybe you could mention that we're getting a really good price because it's off of the county bid list or whatever. How does that work? Maybe the public would like to hear that.
Correct. So the county puts out a bid list every year with contractors, and they bid on each project for time and material and equipment. And municipalities are able to go off this list and choose a contractor from the list without going through the bid procedure, which takes time because our CPL team has to put a bid package together. We have to wait the 10 days or so for the job to bid out. This way, CPL just canvases that contract or the county contract, and they'll interview contractors that are able to do the job at the cost that we provide and at our time frame. It saves money and time.
Great. And we're going to do all the corners, right? For the ADA.
ADA ramps, yes, will be, the ones that aren't up to code now will be set up to code, and that's like on Lackawanna and some of the streets in the first. All those ADA ramps will be included in this project, bring them all up.
Right. They had to go and count them. I didn't wonder how many more there are, but it doesn't, they're not that expensive.
No,
And what about Lehigh, turning on Lehigh?
well, turning on Lehigh, there, right now, if you're heading west, you're not allowed to make a left-hand turn onto Lehigh. So that was put in place when the Ridge Road Bridge there was rebuilt. They wanted that temporary so that, you know, cars would not hold up traffic if they're trying to make a left there. They wanted the flow of traffic to be smooth. And once the bridge was completed, no one went back and looked at that left-hand turn, eliminate that turn. So if that's what the council would like to do, because people are doing it anyways, it's not going to affect any flow of traffic at all, one way or the other.
So is that something we have to look into as a council to
Seeing as how it's an ordinance now, you guys are going to have to change that ordinance to allowing people to make that turn. And it doesn't have to be done immediately. That could be done at your leisure, because it's not going to affect the project whatsoever.
Right.
Will it affect the striping?
It won't affect the striping at all either. I mean, we might want to get it done before the project is over with, because we might want to have a right-hand passing lane when a car's trying to make a left. We're going to want the cars to swing over, so there's no, back up on the bridge, and we'll be able to strike that way too. So we would want to, you have until probably the next meeting, and you don't have to do it tonight.
I thought Jason was going to incorporate that in this drawing.
Is Jason, are you on?
He was supposed to be on.
Yeah, he didn't incorporate it in the drawing. So
He did?
yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yep.
I thought it was incorporated because of the old bridge was so steep that as soon as you're coming over the hill, it was, people were backing up and were causing accidents. And this bridge is clearly not steep, so it should give plenty of visual aid.
Yes.
I'm talking about a turning lane being incorporated now as we go forward, right?
Yes, we that incorporated in this schematics that is being done now. And, we'll have something on the agenda for next meeting to eliminate left turn. No left.
All right.
Tony, are you submitting that a request for a change of the turn signage at that location then?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. Councilman
Awesome.
Sirdike, anything else?
No, great. Thank
Okay.
you.
The $800,000 coming from fund balance, is that reimbursable, or is that just straight out of fund balance, never to
Right.
return?
No, that's reimbursable through chips.
$800,000 worth of chips, or are you saying the chips account is going to move in and fill in the fund balance?
Carolyn, you might want to answer that, because I'm not sure how we would direct that money.
Spend the money and then CHIPS reimburses the 800,000 and then we move it back to fund balance. Right now, we're just moving it to capital projects because it's going to overlap 2 years.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to item 14, communication from DPW Commissioner advising us that someone would be present to answer any questions on the aforementioned milling project, but apparently there isn't anyone. That would normally just be a receive and file, I would assume. Tony, you have anything further on that, item 14?
No, I just would like everybody to know that this project did start in January. So, we know that bike lane wasn't good for the city of Lackawanna, so we're changing it.
Very good.
Mr. Council President, I just want to clarify something.
Yes, sir.
Tony, when you submitted that communication, you specifically requested that the council approve the project and the associated contractor that you're going to select from the county bid list. So that's more than a receive and file. That's actually an approval of an action. Are we sticking with that, or are we changing it down to a receive and file?
No, I would like the council to approve this project. Unfortunately, Jason's not here with the contractor. I could probably do that to approve the contractor for the next meeting, because we'll still be plenty of time before the project starts. But I do wish the council would approve that project.
Okay, I've got a question. 13 and 13A deals with remilling the Ridge Road project and passing an ordinance transferring the $800,000 to do that. I think that's a separate item. Item 14 is a receive and file. It was just Tony appraising the city council of the fact that somebody was available, right? To talk about this.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
No, it says the council approved the contractor that has been selected from the county bid list. He's asking for approval.
Oh, I
That
see
is-
what you mean.
That was my original document that I put on the agenda. I don't know where that's one, Jeff, that you just, I don't know who put that one on.
You put that on.
I put the first one on. Remember, I handed it to you early, a couple weeks.
Number 14, you put on.
I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. I have to use my phone. Is that,
Remember, you wanted as a placeholder.
yes.
Okay,
When
let me clear, okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt. Okay, it indicates that, Tony, you're requesting the city council approve this project and the contractor. Are you withdrawing that communication?
No, I'm not. I'm strongly requesting that you prove that now. The only problem is I don't have a contractor under, the name of the contractor that's chosen. But I
Okay.
would like to have the council approve the project itself.
Then possibly my suggestion then to our city clerk might be to incorporate and join items 13 and 14 as a singular item.
Well, then what are we gonna do about, he wants the contractor approved from the county bid list, the unnamed contractor.
Well, it would incorporate that whole request.
I mean, we could do that. It's coming from two different people. The 13's from the city controller, 14's from the DPW commissioner, because the controller is asking strictly for an ordinance approval to transfer funds. And 14's actually asking permission for the project itself. There's two different.
Well, it's the singular project. It doesn't matter who it comes from.
But-
It addresses a singular project.
But
And-
one's a transfer of funds, not approving of the project. The first one's simply a transferring of funds.
Well,
Okay.
isn't that the essence of approving the project?
If you want to call it that, I disagree with you, but if you want to call it that, I can merge them, but.
Well, let's get an opinion
This
from the
is how it
city
was
attorney.
handed to me.
Mr. Judah, you have any opinion on that?
I guess my question is, I thought the Ridge Road project was already approved.
No,
No? You approved it for bids? Is that what happened?
Approved it to go ahead. They approved it to go ahead with the project to look for, to get the scope of work and look for a contractor, but they didn't actually approve they approved the legwork for me to go ahead and get it going. They didn't approve the project as we have it right now. Right now, we have a scope of work, we have a design. That's what we're asking for you to approve.
I mean, usually, don't we have a contract with the contractor?
Right.
We do, but I don't know what, Jason is not on. I don't know what happened. This was all supposed to be taken.
So once we get the contract, don't we ask for council approval to approve the project then by approving the contract?
I believe so.
Yes.
I've been putting everything on the agenda because, I don't want backlash about, not being open. Everything I did was put on for a council approval.
Does the transfer of the funds have to be approved today, Carolyn?
if she says no,
Mike is off.
No, we don't have to approve it. We can approve it at the next one. Because the funds are gonna be there regardless if we move it today or not. And if they're not gonna start paving until July, the invoices aren't gonna come until end of August, September. So we can move the funds back. We can move the funds then. That's fine with me.
well, the next meeting's in 2 weeks. If Tony, you say this has to be expedited, I mean, one meeting a month always winds up calling for special meetings anyway, because
Right.
that's just the timeliness of it. And I think it's, I'm not so sure of the need of one meeting anymore. But I'm with Tony on this, that, I mean, if we were to table this, I think we should call for a special session for proper approval, because I'm going to tell you, there's the difference between paving in July and paving in late October. and I can't stand late October paving. And if we got things lined up, I think we should not rush, but not take our time either. So
Well, logistically, isn't there a problem with approving the project and the contractor, since we don't have a contract and we don't have a contractor?
Yeah, I guess that's my question. If you approved, the commissioner or the city clerk to bid out the project, correct? And we've reached out to the county for grant money on this project, correct?
Yes.
No?
No.
There's no
this
grant
is
money on
by
this?
us.
I'm
This is
sorry,
funded
what?
by- This is funded by the city, which we were paying in CHIPS money. There is
Okay.
no bid process. That's why we're trying to get moving a little quicker. Okay, we're gonna go off the county contract. Unfortunately, Jason must have been held up where he wasn't able to attend this meeting because he was supposed to have the contractor's name that we are asking for you guys to approve.
I guess my question is, if I'm on the council and I want to approve this, how do I know what it's gonna cost us and who the contractor is?
You know what it's gonna cost, you just don't know what the contractor is.
Well, can we have a special meeting next week or something?
We don't have a special meeting as yet.
If you guys want to table this and let me straighten out the whole situation, I come back to you with a better package, including price and contractor, I will do that.
Was the
Well,
was the
wait a minute.
engineering firm?
Why can't we approve 19A and table 14
Oh, 19A.
or 13A? And
13A is the $800,000 transfer, right,
Yes.
Judge?
why can't we approve that and
I agree.
table item 14?
I agree with that. I think we could.
I think maybe that's what we should do. Let's get the funds in line. We're all in favor of the project. We just need the formality of seeing the contract and the contractor, making sure all the i's are dotted, t's are crossed, and that could be done at the next meeting. I'm thinking, Tony, are you okay with that?
I'm fine. I'm fine with it. But if the contract that was chosen needs to be under contract before the next meeting, can you guys have a special meeting?
You could always call a special meeting with proper notice.
The next special meeting would have to be in City Hall, correct, Judge?
Yes, sir. Yes, Mayor, it would be. Councilman. Yes,
I just want to get this contractor, under contract immediately, okay? Because like you said, Jeff, we don't get it now, he'll go somewhere else and book his time somewhere else. We're going to be back, in October. And then I got to find out what happened, why Jason is involved first.
Well, they did just recently get engaged, so I don't know what that means, but good for him. Happy congratulations to you, Jason. He's been a stand-up person to work with, so I'm sure if something came up, that must have been very important. But I'm not against passing 13. I am in favor of tabling for a soon to be council meeting, and we can move forward if that's okay.
yeah, I'm good with that. Anyone else have any issues on these two?
All right, so just so I'm clear for the minutes, 13 is going to go ahead and be voted on as normal, and then 14, you're just going to table pending further information, which of course that information is a specific contractor from the county bid list, basically.
Yes,
That's correct? Okay,
yes, correct.
we're good.
All right, anyone else on those items? Okay. Item number 15, city assessor request approval of the sale of property or transfer of property at 114, 115, or that's 116 Center Street to Lackawanna Housing Development Corporation. The intent is to build two buildings, one a single family unit and the second a two-family unit, rental unit, as part of Erie County's funding agreement. All three homes will have direct water and sewer, etc. Since our city assessor is here, Mr. Griffin, I have a question.
Sure.
Or two here. I thought the city of Lackawanna from this point forward, or prior to this point forward, was going to put out for bid all property that the city owns and that intends to sell.
So this actually started probably in 2019, 114, 116 Center Street. The city previously sold 117 Center Street, which is across the street, to the Development Corporation in 2019 for $1,000. And tentatively tried to purchase the 114 and 116, but then COVID hit, so they kind of postponed that. They came back to me this year in regards to purchasing these two parcels. The one
I
parcel.
don't mean to interrupt you, Mr. Griffin.
Sure.
Let's get to the meat of this.
Sure.
Is $1,500 a lot of fair market value for those properties?
Well, so it's actually $3,000 for two parcels. Unfortunately, one parcel is not developable. Only the one parcel is developable, the other one's not. But these two combined with a minor subdivision, then we could actually develop the one. The one would be purposed with a single family home that would actually be sold at market value and would be on the tax roll. The other two would not be, they would be basically affordable housing. So with that, we get one house on the tax roll, and then we also use that additional land for affordable housing.
So if the two family is built and it's rented out, who gets the rents on those?
That would be the Lackawanna housing.
It's a rental
development.
position, right?
Correct.
I believe that there was sorry, Judge, I believe that there was a case under Mayor Polanski in which when LHDC became landlords, that their properties were taxable, and that went all the way up to the state Supreme Court, and I think the appellate division was a ruling in favor of the city to be taxable.
Right.
And I believe it was, well, I can't think of the director's name, he's a good guy. He was very livid with that ruling, but unfortunately that ruling was in favor, well, fortunately it was in favor of the city. So we might want to reassess that comment regarding that they're not taxable. All
Yeah,
properties.
That's an excellent point, Councilman. I appreciate your making it. I don't understand if the Community Development Corporation is in existence for the benefit of the city of Lackawanna, why they would retain ownership of income property and keep the rents and possibly not pay taxes. Although I'm familiar with the matter, you mentioned that if it's income property, it is considered taxable. And I don't know if it's the income that's considered taxable or if there's property taxes that can be levied against that property. I don't understand why the Community Development Corporation would not want to do what's in the best interest of the city to increase its population and its tax base. Mr. Griffin, you have any position on that?
Well, the one house would provide additional income for the city as far as increasing the tax base. It would be sold, like I said, at a market rate. It would be a taxable property, single family home. Obviously, the other two would not be, but this property would only be able to develop if someone bought it with one home typically. So really, we're still getting a house that's taxable on the tax base. The other two are affordable
Okay,
houses.
I don't mean to interrupt you
Fred-
again, Mike,
Fred,
but it's
What?
not because the housing, the Lackawanna Development Corporation is involved in this. A private owner could buy those two lots, file for a subdivision, and then put on two buildings too, correct? It doesn't have to be the
Correct, right.
Development Corporation.
Correct. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened since this.
Well,
has been
has
available.
the property been put up for auction?
It's on our city list. It's been on there since it's been available. So
Yeah,
can I make a suggestion, Council President?
sure, absolutely.
Why don't we table this item and I'll get more information from the LCDC, exactly what they intend to do with the property, what benefit it will be to the city, and whether or not this is going to be considered senior housing, low-income housing, or if they're just going to flip it. I don't know, but let's find out exactly what they intend to do with it, how their program works, and what type of benefit we, the city, will get before we determine, before we give them a lot at less than market value, I guess is my suggestion.
I think it's a great suggestion, and I don't mean to interrupt you,
That's
but the other question that comes to my mind then is, does the Community Development Corporation own other property that it acquired through the city and has taken that off the tax rolls? And if so, I'd like those parcels to be identified in case there could be a different use for those and as a benefit to the city and not held by a not-for-profit.
Right.
So, Mike, I think
We could certainly check that.
I'd like that checked.
sure.
See how
Yeah,
much
give-
property the Development Corporation owns and whether it's on the tax rolls or not.
I will say in defense of Mike that he's right that if those lots were on our list of available properties for sale, I mean, if people drive by and say, can't develop on it or not interested, or, I mean, it was there. I believe those lots were available for sale.
And I believe
At
the
the end of the
initial
day-
offer was substantially less than what Mike told them the least offer, correct?
Correct, because so across the street, which is 117 Center Street, was actually approved to sell to the housing development for $1,000 in 2019. So they came back to me trying to buy this lot for $1,000. And I told them, obviously $1,000 wouldn't be enough, so we got them up to $3,000 total to purchase this property, which is 3 times what was accepted 2 years ago, which is
Yeah, well, 3 times, you're looking at 1,000 versus 3,000 for real estate. In my
Right.
opinion, that's not a great deal for us.
right.
At the end of the day, though, Mike, it may very well be that is the logical way to go. I just want us to have enough information. This is an item that I considered having to scramble to try to get to the bottom of, so that we can make an appropriate decision. And unfortunately, we're
No,
airing
that's
it out
understandable.
here. But those are my concerns, and I think the council generally, to put whatever vacant land we have left in the city to the best use of the city as possible, and not tie it up in not-for-profits. So I'm going to ask that I'll probably move that this item be tabled for additional information.
Refer to the law department, correct? Thank you.
Thank you.
I will say that sometime, I think it was when I served on the first time on the council with Andrea Harris, we passed a resolution with Chuck Jaworski regarding developable versus undevelopable lots and the values and minimums we should be willing to accept. Now, resolutions aren't ordinances, but I believe we did pass something some time ago regarding what we believe were, I mean, people were buying lots for $500 and it was like, this is not right. Granted, it's in between 2 homes and we're offering people, homes to be split so they have more yard, et cetera. But that was a concern then. We passed a resolution. We can look at it, or we can sit around and say, we're just not interested in the low value and want more. Never hurts to table it.
Yeah, and I think the more information we have, the better decision we can make. And again, at the end of the day, it may go this way anyway. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just don't understand all the parameters of it. Anyone else on that issue?
Yes,
All
I
right, moving on to item number
one
6.
thing, Mr. Council President, one more thing.
Yes.
They have a list here of properties they've improved. I know I was on the council when they built a house on Center, on Glenwood, 75 Center, 77 Center, 36 Center, 18 Glenwood, 640 Ridge Road. Now, are those, I don't know if the assessor knows, are those properties on the tax rolls?
I don't have access to that right now.
Okay, no problem.
Well,
We'll
Mike,
look into
you did
that.
get an
Yeah,
answer.
I believe a majority of the properties are
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing it up, but all right. You can
Okay, well,
look into
that's something
that.
we need to follow up on.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Item number 16, communication from Director of Development, request transfer of $300,000 from the general fund to Smart Growth Project. Director Stanton, are you present? And if so, do you want to let us know what this is about?
Yes, it's been taking about 5 months or so to get contractors paid. The small on the DRI fund, which is a smart growth grant. The time period for getting people paid and for minor budget line item changes has caused problems because of the delay. Small contractors can't afford to go that long. This is a transfer of funds so we can pay and then get reimbursed. I think Amherst uses a similar approach. They've had more experience with DRIs and smart growth grants, I believe, and waiting for ESDC reimbursement. But it's a problem. It's a huge problem to smaller contractors. And that's why we're not seeing progress until we get them paid.
And it is reimbursable, you said.
Yes.
Anyone have any questions for Director Stanton? All right, thank you, Director. Moving on to item 17, Director of Public Safety, Director Wolf requests City Council approve a test request, Joshua Cullen, to purchase a list of 11 unserviceable city vehicles for $2,000. Director Wolf, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, on the attached document that I sent to you with 11 police vehicles, I think they date back as far back as 2006. They've been slowly rotting in lots. I believe there's a majority of them, if not all, are right behind our new firehouse too on Abbott Road. I guess through the years, as cars either were involved in accidents or transmissions blew, engines blew, they were just parked back there. And now they're just sitting there wasting away. I talked to Tom Nicometto. He advised me that it would probably cost him more money to get the vehicles towed out of there. At least half of them don't have titles, or they can't be found. So this gentleman, who I've never even met, came and requested that he would take them, and he's going to use them. He's probably going to junk them, or for scrap metal. So we thought it was a good idea.
All right, Director, thank you. Anyone have any questions for Director Wolf?
Well, would it benefit the city if we can scrap them out ourselves and keep the scrap money? And two, perhaps we can have our fire department trained with those vehicles with some jaws of life mechanisms and other things, so we can keep our brave men in red working and up to modern firefighting tasks. Is that possible?
I guess it would be possible, but again, these vehicles have been sitting here for upwards of 15 years or more, and they haven't been utilized in any way, shape, or form. Then, you might know, Jeff, we are working right now on trying to get a training facility off of North Lackawanna for the fire department for fires and things like that. But to Tom Nicometto said that it would cost the city more to tow that out of there, or he thought it would be more than $2,000 to tow it out. So if you get it towed out and you do get it scrapped, you're breaking out even, I'm guessing, if you're even going to break out even, from what Tom advised me. So I just thought it was a good idea to clean up. Kind of looks like a junkyard back there. So thought it'd be a good idea to get rid of it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, one more thing. Maybe in the future, I know it's not on you, Director Wolf, but maybe we could get rid of these cars earlier. They'll be worth more money instead of just scrap. Maybe somebody could fix them up or do something with them in the future. All right, that's all I gotta say.
I agree.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Next item, we have a waiver of the rules request. There was a submission from Councilman Moretti and Director Laxo, I believe. Councilman Moretti, you want to tell us what that was about or is about?
Yeah, I was informed that a gentleman, his last name is Jigster.
Jigster.
Yeah, first ever celebrity stargaze, they're calling it. He was requesting, and the date was wrong on what I gave you. The date is July 25th. It's a Sunday. They're looking for 1 o'clock till 6 p.m. What they're asking for, this is going to be conducted at 16 Vincent at this gentleman's house. He's having this benefit for 11-day power play is where the money's to benefit them. It's a cancer benefit. He's requesting to use the Avery Playground parking lot for any excessive parking, so they don't clog up the streets. And that was the request. So and they're having some quite celebrities there. We got Pete Gallivan, WGRZ, Patrick Hammer, Bentley, Slick Tom, John Murphy from the Buffalo Bills, play announcer, Robbie Tatak from Goo Goo Dolls, Don Luce, Jim Fick. They got a lot of celebrities coming to this. Why he's doing it at his home, that's what I don't understand. I drove down there, took a look at it. He doesn't have a big yard or anything, so I don't know how he's going to accommodate these people. He said he's going to keep it limited to only 300 tickets sold. So I'm assuming if you take 2 people in a car, there's 50 cars right there.
I thought I read 100 tickets. No?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. 100 tickets sold, but if
Oh.
people go in a car, so you're looking at 50 cars, right?
Oh, I thought you said 300. I'm sorry.
No, 100
Oh.
tickets sold. So they're requesting, like I said, to use that playground just to park cars, not the playground itself, the parking lot there to use the cars. So that's what you would be voting on today, to allow them to do that.
That's on a Sunday, so that shouldn't interfere with anything.
No, I don't think so.
It doesn't interfere with anything at all that my department has going.
What
Brian,
about the Lord Jesus Christ? No, I was kidding. Sorry.
Brian and I have spoken about it, and it seems to be okay, but maybe if this is a big event, they'll move it to a bigger venue in the future. I just wanted the Director of Public Safety to know, and that the police know that this is going to be going on that day. And like I said, it's not it's July 25th from 1 to 6. Just so the police department's aware. There might be problems with the neighbors. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So.
Okay, anyone else? Thank you, Councilman Moretti and Director Laxo. Communication from the citizens, 18, Mr. Patrica requesting Commissioner of Deeds. And item 19, from the Western New York Veterans Day Parade Committee requesting permission to use part of Lackawanna for their parade, as indicated in their communication. Anyone have any questions or issues on items 18 or 19? Business registrations, Mr. Singh, DBA Shop and Go, and Mr. Perez, DBA Great Lakes Manufacturing. Anyone have any issues on that? If not, then I will ask the city clerk, Mr. DePasquale, would
Council
you
President,
call the roll of the formal meeting of the Lackawanna City Council, regular meeting of June 28th, 2021 is hereby called to order.
Council President, can we, when we get to item number 4, can we discuss that as well? You could do that during the regular meeting.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Council President. Just before we get started, I want to let the public know that the governor has not extended the executive order allowing the various municipalities to use the Zoom meeting format without public participation any further. So in conversations with the council as of the July 12th meeting, which is the next scheduled meeting, the city council and any other meetings that may come of a special meeting or what have you after today's date will be in council chambers and open to the public under the existing rules that were in place at the time. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen, unless a new executive order comes out, which we don't anticipate, this is the last type of meeting. Now they will still be on Zoom, but they will be accommodating a live audience. With that, roll call council. Ingram.
Here.
Szymanski.
Here.
Moretti.
Here.
Sirdike.
Present.
Morano.
Here.
Department heads. Law.
Here.
Development.
Here.
Public Works.
Here.
Public Safety.
Here.
Controller.
Here,
Recreation.
Here.
Hearings from citizens. We have not received any citizen communication via email. Obviously, that's going to change at the next scheduled council meeting. Brings us to the approval of the minutes, which I understand, my bad, you didn't get a copy of those.
I'll move to table that.
Second.
So we have a motion by Morano, second by Szymanski to table the request to approve the minutes until such time as you've had a chance to review them, and they'll be on the next meeting agenda. Ingram.
Here. Yes.
Szymanski.
Yes.
Moretti.
Yes.
Sirdike.
Yes.
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Departmental reports 1 through 3.
Morano moves to receive and file departmental reports 1 through 3 inclusive.
Moretti second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to receive and file departmental reports 1 through 3. Ingram.
Yes.
Szymanski.
Yes.
Moretti.
Yes.
Sirdike.
Yes.
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Communications from the council, number 4. Councilmember Samansky requests City Council approve the attached resolution appointing him as marriage officer within the city of Lackawanna.
As a
Mr.
point of
Judah, you had a
order,
comment on this? You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. During the work session before the meeting, I had to take a phone call and I just want to make sure. It's section 11 of the domestic relations law, which allows the city to appoint a marriage officer, which I believe is what Mr. Samansky is requesting. The term can be up to 4 years. We should state whether it is a salaried or an unsalaried position. It could be either.
It will be unsalaried and will expire on December 31st, 2021, year of the Lord. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't want to get paid and I don't want to do it after that term, so.
Okay, fine. And then the only thing is, according to the law, Jeff, I just want you to understand, if you are appointed, you can conduct marriages only within the jurisdictional limits of the city of Lackawanna for it to be official.
As
For the
duly
law.
noted. Duly noted.
That's all.
Yep,
That's all.
yep, thank you.
So then City Attorney Rick, the resolution, it says, as per New York State Domestic Relations Law 1077, which has been the standard that's been used forever. Are you saying that's not the correct section?
Yeah, I believe it's section 11 of the domestic relations law. They've all been renumbered.
Then I'll make a motion to amend the resolution
Moreno
to,
seconds.
what was that number there, Rick? From 1077 to
11,
11, what?
11-C.
11-C. Make a motion to amend. We have a second by Council President.
Okay, well, we're getting ahead of it first. We still have to do the receive and file and act on resolution.
Moreno,
Do I have a motion to receive and file Councilman Samansky's communication?
Moreno
I make a
moves.
motion.
We have a second.
Second. Thanks, Dean.
Moretti, second.
Yes.
Okay, so I got a motion by Ingram, a second by Moretti to receive and file act on the resolution. We'll get to the amended resolution after this vote. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. The resolution, as per New York State Domestic Relations Law, Section 11-C, appointing Jeffrey M. Samansky as marriage officer for the city of Lackawanna with no compensation, term not to exceed 4 years, in this case to expire December 31st, 2021. Is that what you want, Councilman Samansky?
That is correct. Yes, Mr. Clerk.
So we have a motion by Samansky, second by Morano, to adopt the resolution as amended. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. Number 5, Councilmember Samansky requests
Thank
City Council review and approve the attached record of activities. Apparently, as per the city controller, we're going to receive and file that and forward to the controller for further action. Is that correct?
So moved.
Second.
So
Moreno.
I've got a motion by Samansky, second by Morano, to receive and file forward to controller for further action. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. Communications from Department Division Heads, number 6. City Attorney requests the City Council approve the attached ordinances, amending Chapter 119, Fire Prevention of the City of Lackawanna Municipal Code. Need a motion?
Moreno moves to receive and file and act on the ordinances.
Moretti, second.
So we have a motion by Morano, second by Moretti, to receive and file act on ordinances. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. The first ordinance is an ordinance amending Chapter 119, Fire Prevention of the City of Lackawanna Municipal Code, specifically Section 119-34. This article shall not prohibit the use of outdoor gas fire pits and/or fireplaces fueled by propane gas or natural gas only.
Moreno moves to approve ordinance as written.
Ingram, second.
So a motion by Morano, second by Ingram, to adopt ordinance as written. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
No.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 4-1. The second ordinance is an ordinance amending chapter 119 fire prevention of the city of Lackawanna Municipal Code, specifically section 119-36. The provisions of this article shall be administered and enforced by any officer of the police department, a city fire chief, city fire inspector / marshal, city building inspector, or code enforcement officer.
Morano moves to approve the ordinance as written.
Moretti second.
We have a motion by Morano, second by Moretti to adopt ordinance as written. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
yes,
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
yes,
Morano,
Yes,
carried 5-0. Number 7, city attorney requests the city council approve and authorize the mayor to sign the attached grant agreement between the city of Lackawanna and the United States Soccer Federation Foundation, Inc. This agreement memorializes the terms and conditions of the grant that was previously approved by the council in a prior memorandum of understanding that was passed at the May 3rd, 2021 council meeting.
Morano moves to approve the request.
second, Samansky,
We have a motion by Morano, second by Samansky to approve request. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
yes,
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
yes,
Morano,
Yes,
carried 5-0. Number 8, city attorney requests city council approve the attached ordinance amending chapter 230 zoning of the city of Lackawanna Municipal Code. This ordinance amends chapter 5.2-3 subdivision 1 by removing the following language in quotes for at least 3 feet above the highest adjacent grade in A without an available base flood foundation, end of quotes. In addition, section 5.3-1 subparagraph 2 is amended, replacing language regarding new construction. And finally, section 5.7 subdivision 3 is amended to replace certain language dealing with manufactured homes.
Morano moves to approve the ordinance as written.
second, Sirdike.
Okay, so what this is, you've got a motion by Morano, second by Sirdike to receive and file, act on the ordinance. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
yes,
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes,
Morano.
Yes,
Carried 5-0. That ordinance amending chapter 230 zoning of the city of Lackawanna Municipal Code, specifically section 5.2-3 sub 1 utilities, 5.3-1 2 and 2A and B elevation, and 5.7 sub 3 manufactured home and recreational vehicles.
Morano moves to approve the ordinance as written.
second, Sirdike.
We have a motion by Morano, second by Sirdike to adopt ordinance as written. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
yes,
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes,
Morano.
Yes,
Carried 5-0. Number 9, city attorney requests on behalf of the mayor and city controller, the reestablishment of the assistant controller's position which was eliminated by the city council several years ago. Starting salary shall be $62,500, and attached is a job description which is required to be approved by the Lackawanna Civil Service Commission.
Morano moves to approve request.
Ingram second.
A motion by Morano, second by Ingram to approve request. Do you want an ordinance? Are you requesting an ordinance to fund this position? Or no?
No, there was, I'll do it at the next meeting.
Right, but there will be an ordinance required, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so
Correct.
because what I've got here is approve request an ordinance with funding same. Is that okay?
Rick?
I'm asking the council to request an ordinance to fund the
Oh.
position. Is that okay? Or you just want me to leave it at approve request?
just leave it at approve request,
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll do that. Okay, so I have a motion by Morano, second by Ingram to approve request. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky?
yeah, on a question, one more time, Carolyn, just to be clear, we are not adding a fourth person, we are just adding a more, a very qualified person to be the third person in your office, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, then I vote yes.
Moretti?
Yes.
Sirdike?
no,
Morano?
yes,
Carried 4-1. Number 10, city controller requests city council review and approve the attached standard workday resolution form RS 2418 as required by New York State and local retirement system.
Morano moves to receive and file a request and approve request.
Moretti second.
I have a motion by Morano, second by Randy to receive and file approve request. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes,
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
yes,
Morano,
Yes,
carried 5-0. Number 11, city controller requests the city council approve the attached ordinance increasing the salary for the Civil Service Commission secretary.
Morano moves to receive and file the request, act on ordinance.
Second by Moretti.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to receive and file act on ordinance. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
No.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
no,
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 3-2. That ordinance amending the 2021, 2022 budget ordinance adopted May 18, 2021 by increasing the salary for the civil service secretary by $1,800, increasing budget line for personnel, personal services by $1,800, and decreasing the fund balance by $1,800.
Morano moves to approve ordinance as written.
Ingram second.
We have a motion by Morano, second by Ingram to adopt ordinance as written. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
No.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
no,
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 3-2. Number 12, City Comptroller, please be advised pursuant to Chapter 12.12 Subdivision C2 of the City Charter, after review of the Office of Department of Administration and Finance, the Office of the City Clerk, Department of Development, Department of Public Works, Department of Public Safety, and Department of Recreation, the attached list of transfers were made to balance many of the 2020, 2021 accounts.
Morano moves to receive and file.
Second, Samansky.
Motion by Morano, second by Samansky to receive and file. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
yes,
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Number 13, City Comptroller requests the City Council approve the attached ordinance to transfer funds for the Ridge Road Mill and Overlay Project 2021. Funds to be reimbursed to the general fund once the project is completed.
Morano moves to receive and file request, act on ordinance.
Moretti second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to receive and file act on ordinance. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
yes,
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 5-0. That ordinance amending the 2020, 2021 budget ordinance adopted June 9, 2020 by increasing budget code for Ridge Road Mill Overlay and Paving Project by $800,000, increasing the budget code for interfund transfers by $800,000, increasing the budget code for transfer to capital account by $800,000, and appropriating $800,000 of the city's fund balance.
Morano moves to approve the ordinance as written.
Ingram second.
Motion by Morano, second by Ingram to adopt ordinance as written. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
yes,
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Number 14, DPW Commission advises the City Council that our engineers for the milling and paving of Ridge Road and bike path will be on hand to answer any questions about the design of this project. I am requesting that the City Council approve this project and the contractor that has been selected from the county bid list.
Motion to table and refer to law
Morano
department.
seconds. Morano
Okay, who do I
seconds.
have? Morano, okay. So we've got a motion by Samansky, second by Morano to table request, refer to law department for further information. Is that law department or should that go to the DPW commissioner?
No, Rick was the one who was concerned about the contractor stuff, and it really doesn't matter as long as we get the answer. So we can refer it to both.
So why don't we just pending further information and they can collaborate on that.
Sure.
Okay, so I've got a motion by Samansky, second by Morano to table the request pending further information. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
yes,
Morano.
Yes.
Item table carried 5-0. Item number 15, City Assessor requests the City Council approve the attached ordinance transferring the property located at 114 and 116 Center Street to the Lackawanna Housing Development Corporation, known as the LHDC. The intent is to build one single-family unit and two single-family rental units as part of Erie County's funding agreement. All three homes will have direct road, water, and sewer access to Center Street. Price is $1,500 per lot, totaling $3,000.
Morano moves to table this communication and this request for further information.
Moretti second.
I have a motion by Morano, second by Moretti to table request pending further information. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
yes,
Morano.
Yes.
Table request carried 5-0. The ordinance is not, no longer in play. So moving on to number 16. Director of Development requests the city council approve the attached ordinance transferring $3,000 from the general fund.
300,000, Jeff.
What did I say, 3,000?
Sure.
3,000.
It'd be nice.
The contractor would still be mad at us.
Yes. So,
You could buy two lots and you could buy 2 lots for 3,000.
That's right, yeah.
All right, let me reread this. Request the city council approve the attached ordinance transferring $300,000 from the general fund to the smart growth project.
Morano moves to receive and file request to act on ordinance.
Second, Samansky.
Motion by Morano, second by Samansky to receive and file act on ordinance. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. The ordinance amending the 2020-2021 budget ordinance adopted June 9, 2020 by transferring funds from the general fund balance to AC Smart Growth Project by increasing the budget for consulting fees by $300,000 and appropriating $300,000 of the city's fund balance.
Morano moves to adopt ordinance as written.
Second, Samansky.
Motion by Morano, second by Samansky to adopt ordinance as written. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. Number 17, Director of Public Safety requests the city council approve the attached request from local auto business owner Joshua Cullen to purchase the attached list of 11 unserviceable city vehicles for the sum of $2,000. Mr. Cullen will remove the vehicles at his own cost.
Morano moves to receive and file and approve request.
Moretti second.
A motion by Morano, second by Moretti to approve request. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. Motion to waive the rules.
Morano
Make a-
so moves.
I second the motion.
Motion by Morano, second by Samansky to waive the rules. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. Councilmember Moretti and Director of Recreation Laxo on behalf of local radio personality David Jixter seek council approval to utilize the parking area at Avery Playground the afternoon of Sunday, July 25th from 1 to 6 p.m. for a charity event to be held at Mr. Jixter's residence on Vincent Street. This request is so traffic flow is not impeded in the neighborhood.
Make a
Morano-
motion. Go ahead, Judge.
Morano moves to approve request. Thank you.
Moretti second.
They have a motion by Morano, second by Moretti to approve request. Do we want to refer this to the Law Department of Director of Public Safety or just approve the request?
Please. Yeah,
Yes,
please
please.
refer.
All right, so I have a motion by Morano, second by Moretti to approve request, refer to Law Department of Director of Public Safety. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. Communications from citizens, number 18. Art J. Patrica, Attorney at Law, requests City Council appoint Ziamara Rondon, 187 Prees Avenue, Buffalo, 14220, to Commissioner of Deed status for the City of Lackawanna, term to expire December 31, 2022.
Morano moves to approve request.
Moretti second.
Motion by Morano, second by Moretti to approve request. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. Number 19, Van Taylor, Western New York Veterans Day Parade Committee request City Council approve the attached parade, which utilizes a small portion of public highway in the city of Lackawanna. This parade will take place on Saturday, November 6, 2021, starting at 11 a.m. They are interested in having city officials join them and also request a police cruiser to assist where necessary.
Well, it's a little vague on that language at the end, but I will make a motion to approve request and refer to Law Department and Public Safety.
Yeah, I think so. I know Mr. Taylor very well. I know him all my life. He's a very what he's done is remarkable and very highly respected around the cities. Yes, I second.
So I have a motion by Samansky, second by Ingram to approve the request, refer to Law Department and Director of Public Safety. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano,
Yes.
carried 5-0. Business registrations. Bhupinder Singh, doing business as Shop and Go, which is a convenience store, 1849 Abbott Road.
Motion to approve.
Moretti
Sirdike.
second.
Motion by Sirdike, second by Moretti to approve business registration. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano.
yes,
Carried 5-0. Second one, Richard Perez, doing business as Great Lakes Manufacturing LLC, which manufactures pallets and boxes, 2600 Hamburg Turnpike.
Morano moves to approve business registration.
Second, Samansky.
Motion by Morano, second by Samansky to approve business registration. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Moretti,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 5-0. Mr. Council President.
Gentlemen, or any of the council or department heads, anything you wish to bring forward at this time for discussion under table items or old business?
Well, I will say that the Van Taylor has tried for about 3 years to get this Veterans Day parade off, and I really hope he can get it off this year. Obviously, I think the weather hit 2 years ago. Something happened last year. I think it was COVID, a pandemic broke out. So hopefully we can have this happen and have a great event. He's tried so hard so many times. So hopefully we can have cooperative weather and virus free.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else?
I have a quick question, Mr. Council President.
Yes,
It's in regards to these fireworks tents. Do they need any kind of license or business thing or anything from the city? I don't know if the city clerk would know, or
I can answer that question if I may, sir.
I figured.
They do. It depends on where they're operating. If they're operating on the city's right of way or any city-owned property, obviously that changes things. They would need a peddler's permit. If they are operating on private property, they need the permission from the property owner and also would then require a business registration. As far as discussions with code enforcement and reviewing the New York state law, there's nothing that prohibits these tents from going up and selling these type of fireworks. They also need a tent permit if they're utilizing one from code enforcement. But yeah, it's either a business registration or a peddler's permit, depending on their format of sale. And we do have at least one that's in the works.
Mr. Stan,
one on,
go ahead. Sorry.
is it the one on corner of my street on South Park?
The corner across the street there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that was went ahead and got the permission from the 10 people and what have you, and that code enforcement, my apologies, and did supply a typical business registration application.
So we don't have to prove it? No.
No, because as you recall, back several years ago, the council authorized the clerk's office to issue what we call provisional permits, and unless a red flag or something developed that was of negative information or depending on any type of circumstance, we issue what we call a preliminary business license, and that goes for anything, not fireworks, obviously, but any type of business registration. Now, typically, a business registration is there to stay, and it goes to the council once we receive all the background checks that are required. However, in this instance, because of the fact of the nature of the business being so close to the 4th of July holiday, that was in fact not possible.
Okay, I know the other businesses that we don't want to infringe on them opening and all that. I remember all that, but I was just wondering what's going on with this one on the corner. So they're in the process of getting a business registration?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I do have one more thing there, Judge.
Yes, sir.
I just want to state that my no vote wasn't against the person who was serving as civil service secretary. It's the fact that this should have been included in the budget we passed just a month ago. So to be clear.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else? If not, then Morano moves to adjourn.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn in the memory of Richard Startek, former public safety director and Lackawanna police officer, served with great distinction.
Morano seconds.
We all
So I've
said-
got a motion by Samansky, second by Morano, to adjourn the meeting in memory of Richard Startek, who was a former public service director in the city of Lackawanna and police officer and did serve with distinction. That is well known. Thank you, Mr. Samansky, for that. Ingram,
Yes.
Samansky,
Yes.
Ready,
Yes.
Sirdike,
Yes.
Morano.
Yes.
Carried 5-0. And again, ladies and gentlemen of the public, just a reminder, the next meeting scheduled for July 12th will be open in council chambers, and any other meetings, be it special or what have you, that apply between now and then would also be in council chambers with proper notification. So with that, thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.